All right, this is post-apocalyptic mukbang. What is this? Ridiculous. Post-apocalyptic mukbang, volume 5. Spam sashimi and berries. This is a little closer to some actual apocalypse food, at least for some time period until you have to start hunting for your own whatnots and animals and things. Before we get started, let's see. It is storming again, so I'm going to go ahead and light the lamp, and hopefully this doesn't cause any major glare issues like the kitchen light was. We're going to do it. Let's do it right. All right, cool. Turn it a little bit for a moment, give you a little view of the food. What I have here is a 3/4 cup of rice, cup and a half of water, did the typical boil on that. It comes together very much like sushi rice. I did not actually add any vinegar or anything. The nutrition facts on the rice. Serving size 1/4 cup, so it's 3 servings according to these. Okay, 3 grams of protein for 1 serving, so this is about 9 grams of protein, no percentage. 6% dietary fiber, 36% overall total carbs for the day. 6% of your daily iron. This is enriched with iron, niacin, thiamine, folic acid. It's just your basic starch and carbs, I guess. Not actually Spam, it's the Great Value Original Luncheon Meat, made with pork. Ingredients: pork, salt, water, sugar, sodium phosphate, spices, sodium erythrobate, sodium nitrite. I personally prefer the ones that include chicken, and I've got some chicken left, but I didn't feel like it, and I busted out this recipe, something very similar the other day, and I was like, man, I should do one of my little specials on it. So I'm eating the whole container, but this is 6 servings per container. So let's see, we're going to go times 6. 126% total fat. Now, I did fry this to a crisp. There was a lot of oil that came out that is in the pan still, so the fat's not so much a thing. 120% saturated fat, which we'll go down on that a little bit lower. But considering this is basically all I've had to eat today and all I will have to eat, it's this and the cheese. Cholesterol, 78% for the day. Sodium, 34 times 6. 180, 204% at least of my daily sodium. I literally have not had anything else. I'm out of peanut butter. I've not had popcorn or anything. And I don't know, did I munch on some of that popcorn from last night? Or no, I think I left it. I had a bunch of popcorn watching that Vic Mignogna interview, which, by the way, you'll see on my latest short chronologically with this one. It just went up. My impression of Vic contains link to the interview with Nick Rekieta. That was an absolutely fascinating interview, and it left me with a real interesting, refreshed, and euphoric feeling that lasted all the way through a very, very, very cool and interesting set of dreams. Okay, so on the luncheon meat, total carb, 1 gram, that's just some filler, so 6 grams of carb for the whole thing. No fiber, 1 gram of sugar, so 6 grams of sugars, including 1 gram of added sugars, so it is a 12% of sugars. 42 grams of protein. Protein is good. You see this? This is See if I can get some pectorals in the light here. Like, I've got muscle going on. This diet keeps me on basically ketosis all the time. That's why I try and monitor. It's almost a bodybuilder type thing, but I'm not working out. I'm just eating healthy and staying active. Calories per serving 180 times 6. 1,000. This meal is basically your caloric intake for the day. In my case, this is I don't know what assumption they go per diet, but let's see. We've got 12% of iron and 24% of potassium. Fully cooked, ready to eat, cold or hot. Refrigerate after opening. Well, I'm going to eat it. Cheese, we've got a total of 4 slices were used. So that is 240 calories. So yeah, this is something that you could eat this split over the course of a day. I wouldn't eat it all at once and expect to be active with all the salt that's in it, but definitely if you're active and you had something like this would keep you going for sure. Okay, serving size 1 slice. So we got 24% total fat, 52% saturated fat, no trans fat, 20% of cholesterol, so we're good on that, 40% of sodium, so we're definitely over good on that. 1% carbohydrate, 2 grams per, so 4% carbohydrate is in this. No dietary fiber, no sugars. 12 grams of protein. 40% of vitamin D. 60% of calcium. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. I had a little bit of biscuit mix with a little bit of sugar and cornmeal added earlier as a light snack, so I've definitely got a bit of calcium going on there. Potassium for 16%. Been over this already. American cheese, pasteurized. Milk, cheese culture, salt, enzymes, skim milk, cream, whey, milk protein concentrate, modified food starch, whey protein concentrate, 2% or less of APO, carotenoid, and beta-carotene for color. Calcium phosphate, citric acid, dairy products, solids, lactic acid, potassium citrate, salt, sodium citrate, sodium phosphate, ascorbic acid, preservative, vitamin D, contains milk. Again, this is the Great Value Singles American Pasteurized Prepared Cheese product. Individually wrapped. This has been lasting just fine. If anything, I think it maybe sharpens just a little, but there really isn't anything like that going on. The cheese culture is basically done by the time this is made. And of course I had my daily vitamin as well, with just about everything else I could possibly need in here and some things that I don't. So not a tremendously active day today, but I did go out and pick berries. That'll be the first thing that I try a little bit of here before I go into the Spam sashimis. Gonna do the typical traditional palate cleanse. I changed the water in the pipe earlier today. Went out onto the porch and gathered up all the other end bags of my Largo tobacco and rinsed all of them off because they've been sitting out on the porch getting funky on the outside. Checking to see which ones did not allow water in, and those are the ones I'll be doing the smell check and combining together into a bag, possibly this one again, and basically doubling the amount of tobacco without having to buy any more. Lightning. Quality. Coffee, this is hours and hours old, still good. No sugar in it. Alright, so my daily fiber. I have no idea what the sugar or fiber or vitamin C content, I know there's a fair bit here, but I went out and picked a bunch, and what we got here are ripe mulberries. Let me move my desk lamp over here. See the color, these are fully ripe. Very sweet. After the other day's storm, they really came out. Also, raspberries, fully ripe. So I almost did a version of this for just the berries, and I just decided not to upload it. So sweet, so delicious. Mixed berry, a little bit of stem for fiber. Turns out the reason that you get a stomach ache from eating mulberries, especially when they're not ripe, is that the less ripe mulberries, you can see the color here, contain much more pectin and much less sugar. The pectin becomes sugar the riper they get. And I found this out because I wanted to find out how to make jam, should I decide to do that. And while you still have to add a bunch of like granular sugar to really make proper sugar syrup jam, pectin is a preservative that helps gel. It is a natural component of hair on my berry. Natural component of unripe fruit in general. The white fuzzy stuff on the inside of the orange rind, full of pectin. Green apples that aren't fully ripe yet or partially ripe, crab apples especially, full of pectin. Choke cherries, full of pectin. These are so good. These grow on my property. No pesticides, no fertilizers, just wild berries off of mulberry trees that I grow around the property and the raspberry bushes that I have. Oh gosh, so good. So, main course. Maybe get you a better view with the light here. What I did with this was I opened the can top and I sliced vertically along the short side, so that instead of, the last time I made them, they were like Spam burger patties, and this time I decided to do them short with the half slice of cheese on each, basically. Marinated for about an hour with some teriyaki sauce, which I've been over with the I believe the previous one I had used it in. What did I make the last one? Oh, the space barbecue, yeah. But basically, yeah, teriyaki sauce has got rice wine vinegar, a bunch of good probiotic components, as well as soy sauce, which is hella salt. But basically, I marinated it in that and some the Berman's hot sauce, that is the Frank's Red Hot knockoff. And as you can see, it's black and crispy in a lot of places. Most of the oil has been cooked out of this. Tasty. I basically blackened them on one side. That's the side that the cheese is going on. Try and show you how I'm doing this. The rice is very clumpy. I made this so that it would kind of stick together. And you'll see what I'm doing here in just a moment. I'm not going to sit and eat this entire thing in front of you, but definitely going to show you what I got. Basically, it's clumpy enough that you can put it onto the top of the piece. And this is cooled down to the point that I don't have to use a fork to eat it. That's an end piece. That's a satisfying flavor combination there. The mild sweetness of the rice, the saltiness of the meat and the cheese, a little sweet from the teriyaki, and just the slightest little zing of the red pepper sauce. Like I said, this was all in the can. And what I did was, went ahead and got my pots and pans ready while this was marinating. Basically made the rice before I even started cooking the Spam. Cooked the Spam on high, and used the fork to split apart the pieces so that the juices of the marinade could get in. So it kind of soaked in hot sauce, and it was like a teaspoon was of a teaspoon or teaspoon and a half of the teriyaki sauce was all that would fit into the can with the space it had. Let that sit, prepared everything else. Oh, lightning. And we got a big storm rolling through. The last time that we had a big storm rolling through, the power blipped. So that's why I got the lamp out anyway. I figured I would, for ambiance or whatever, even though this is what I need for the proper light. Anyways, the last time I made this, I used the seasoned salt and black pepper in the pan while cooking. Got a nice black and crispy outside on one side and well seasoned throughout. But this time I decided to try it this way instead, just a little bit of sauce. And it just cooked out tremendously. I even got the little crispies out of the pan. So basically what we got here, fried them all together in one pan, took about 10-15 minutes tops. Got the rice done. It was a little watery, so I kind of put it back up on high on the rice pan and stirred it around a bit, and then turned it off, took it off the burner, and left it slightly vented to dry out a little bit. I learned this from, there's a couple of channels that I subscribe to. I cannot remember the names of them. Honestly, the names are in Korean, so I don't really know what they're called. But there's a lot of really great Korean street food, and they're not mukbang so much as they're ASMR. You get to watch them prepare it, watch them make it, maybe watch them eat it. I suggest you look up Korean street food and find some channels. Everything from homemade French fries to corn puff solutions to or potato puff solutions as well, to breading for things like corn dogs or breaded cheese sticks or whatever. A lot of really cool culinary techniques in Korea, and supposedly the street food is legendary. From what I'm seeing on these channels, it's got to be. They have these intricate devices that they use for making various types of egg breads and whatever for breakfast sandwiches and things, stuff to make McDonald's jealous. And you can prepare like 5 or 10 of them at a time, and then you just it's like a heated, it's over the fire, and it's this metal thing, and it's got maybe an indent or a dip or a shape, and you put all this stuff in it as it goes, and you let the egg cook for a bit before you put the bread on or whatever. It's always sandwich cheese. A lot of American cheese, a lot of really unhealthy food. And I was like, wow, this is some good stuff I can use for my post-apocalyptic mukbang. So, found out about Spam cheese and rice. The Korean way to do this is the square Spam burger patties, almost a quarter pound per, covered in cheese, spread the rice, and then it is wrapped in seaweed wrap, and it seals up so that you basically can bag it, pocket it, have it. Nothing in that's really going to go bad over the course of your morning or your day. And the seaweed then I'm sure adds a nice flavor to it as well, plus giving you some of the roughage, which is, I've got my berries here. But the idea being that if you're in a situation where you're low on food, this is all you've got, you can eat incredibly well, get your entire day's nutrition from one plate of food. And again, the berry fiber is good because we got all this meat, rice, and cheese. We got to make sure that things go easy on the later part, if you know what I mean. So anyways, yeah, and you just dollop some rice onto it. And I actually kind of dried my rice out a little more than I meant to. And I tried not to make too much because the tendency for me is to, if I'm going to eat white rice by itself, I'm going to want some soy sauce or teriyaki on it. Love a little bit of soy sauce on the rice. I don't have any eggs, so I can't cook egg into it. But after eating an entire can of Spam and cheese, do I really want to add soy sauce to the rice? So I made a little bit less, so this will cover what I got. And after that, I'll just kind of scarf up what's left. And there's a little bit of the juice from the marinade on the plate when I put the rice down. So the bottom will have a little flavor. But anyways, this is your basic Asian meat and rice. This has cheese. This is what I find amazing about Korean food, is that they use cheese, whereas it's pretty much the only Asian food I've ever seen that really uses cheese. I was reading the Mongolian arung, which is not even cheese, but it's milk fat. So anyways, this flavor is excellent. It's savory, it's salty, a little sweet. I used to be in a very, I have to be in a certain mood to eat Spam, and of course now I'm getting to where it's like I've got 3 cans of Spam and 4 cans of chicken left. Payday's coming. In a survival situation, of course, payday's not a thing. You got what you got. So if you got yourself some rice, you can build a fire. You can make the rice, you can put it off to the side. If you got something to keep it in, you can then, use the same pan to cook your Spam in or whatever, however you want to do it. You can cook your spam first and infuse the rice with the oil if you want, but preservatives, and I would guess some of that comes out in the oil in the frying process, I would hope. But grilled meat, melted cheese, and honestly, who doesn't like rice? So together, this just makes a really incredible combination. I'm trying to knock rice off the plate while I'm kind of spooning out the flour in the center. And I figured with the short slices, it would be easier to set it out on a spread on a plate like this that allows you to not have to use multiple containers. The last time I had a big bowl of rice and a plate of Spam. And this time, it's all in one, and then my bowl is used for the berries, which are soaking in water. But yeah, this is an incredibly satisfying meal. I was very surprised at how good this tasted. I shouldn't have been surprised. My late mother's favorite things to eat was Spam and Cheese Whiz, and for very good reason. It's tasty, it works together. Now see here, there's the chunk of rice in the bottom that has absorbed meat juice and marinade. That's fantastic. And anyways, this is, it's staple food, things that last, things that can be stored, survival food if there ever was anything besides, like I said, literally hunting for your meat. YouTube updates. So there you have it. I'll eat this and a little bit more of the berries there, and then I'll cut this short because I'm getting up on my time. But yeah. The flavor combination of this is just something else. If you've never had cheese and Spam, you gotta try it. It mixes right. People think Spam's all weird and whatever. When you get down to eating it, it just tastes like ham. It doesn't have any other particular flavor to it. It's not, oh, it's potted meat or the preserved. No, you don't really taste any of that. It's just diced ham that's been squished together in a can and preserved. It's fully cooked. Eventually, I'm going to do like a ham and bean soup or something with Spam because that's what I'm going to be down to. I've also got red beans and rice coming up. It may not be red beans because I don't really have red beans, but I'll have a beans and rice with a can of tomato in it. Real, like red beans and rice style, and I might add some chicken to that. And at this point, I'm out of any of the vegetables that I would typically use in the chicken supreme thing that I've been talking about. With it's basically a boiled fried rice kind of thing. Once I get a chance to get to the store, get some peas or carrots or something, I'll go ahead and do that and present that as well. But in the meantime, I've got a few other things. But basically, all else that I've got is green beans in a can. And those really do not go well when you mix in with the rice. It breaks everything up, it mixes together, and the flavor just doesn't work like that. So, this is delicious, but you don't want to eat it too fast. You get a stomach ache, you get over full. Eat it in shifts, right? Five out of 5 would highly recommend, especially in a survival situation. We got the ability to cook it, great. If not, still decent. But make sure that if you're doing something like this, that you got a source of fiber. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a lot of gut pain the next day, and have a difficulty getting rid of it if you follow. Thank you for joining me on this 5th episode of Post-apocalyptic mukbang. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.